One day, while walking, young Nico and his grandfather Joan entered an old bookstore, with books so ancient they smelled old. On a hidden shelf, Nico found a book that caught his attention. The title said, "Extraordinary Thoughts of Bruce Lee." "Who is he, Grandpa?" Nico asked curiously. "Ah, Bruce Lee," said Grandpa Joan smiling. "He was a great martial arts master." Martial arts, Nico, are a way to defend yourself without using weapons. The most important thing is not fighting, but learning to have discipline, respect, and control over oneself. But even more important, he was a master of life. "And what did he teach, Grandpa?" Nico asked, very interested. "Many things, that to be strong, muscles are not enough. It's more important to train the mind and the heart. Sit down, I'll tell you his story like a fairy tale." In a faraway country, there was a boy named Emiliano, very much like you, Nico. He really wanted to be the best at everything. The smartest, the strongest, the fastest. It was stressful. He always had to prove something. His kung fu master, a very wise old man, told him, "Today we won't train strikes. Today, Emiliano, you will learn the most difficult lesson, to flow like water." They went to the river. The old man invited the young man to observe. The river flowed between the stones. Sometimes it was gentle, sometimes strong, but it always moved forward. "Did you see, Emiliano?" the old man said to him. "Water doesn't argue with obstacles, it goes around them. It doesn't get angry, it doesn't shout, it just follows its path. Empty your mind, be amorphous, without form, like water. Water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my son." Emiliano didn't understand at first, but with time, he understood that when he stopped resisting changes and accepted what came, he felt freer, stronger, happier. And so this little tale ends, Nico. "It's just a small dose of what Bruce Lee wants to teach us," said Grandpa Joan. "So he wanted us to be like water?" Nico asked. "Yes," his grandfather said. "But he also taught many other things. Listen, I'll read you some phrases from his book, which are like seeds for the soul. Do not pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. This means we shouldn't wish for everything to be simple, but learn to be brave when things get tough. Adapt to survive. The world changes, people change, and you must change too. Being rigid like a dry branch will make you break, but if you are flexible like bamboo, you will withstand the wind. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. This means that it doesn't matter how many things you know, but how many times you practice them. Consistency and patience are more valuable than speed. Defeat is not defeat unless you learn from it. When you lose or make a mistake, it doesn't mean you have failed. It means you have a new opportunity to grow. Every fall or error is a teacher in disguise. A goal is not always meant to be reached. It often serves simply as a direction. Sometimes, dreaming of something is not about having it, but about knowing where we should walk. Dreams give us direction, even if the path changes later. "Grandpa," said Nico, "and was Bruce Lee like everyone else?" "No, he learned that he didn't have to be like anyone else. He said, always be yourself, express yourself, have faith in yourself. That means you don't need to copy others to be valuable. Your way of being, thinking, moving, listening, etc., all of that is unique. And that makes you special. Grandpa, sometimes I want to be like other kids, faster, more confident. And it's okay to want to improve, but never stop being you. Knowledge will give you power, but character will give you respect. Knowing a lot is good, but being a good person is better. Having a good heart, being fair, helping others, that's what really makes you strong." From that day on, Nico and his grandfather Joan read a page from the book every night. Nico also began to train his mind, not just his body. When he got angry, he would breathe and ask himself, "Am I being like water or like a rock?" When he didn't understand something in class, instead of getting frustrated, he would tell himself, "Every mistake teaches me something." And when he felt sad or insecure, he would remember another phrase, "The key is in inner preparation. If you are calm inside, nothing outside will defeat you." Nico grew up with a heart strong as a tree and a mind light as water. He was never perfect, but he no longer needed to be. He had learned that life is like a river. It changes, twists, rises, falls. But if you flow with it without fear and with wisdom, you will go far. And every time he doubted himself, he closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and said, "Be water, Nico." All that's left for me to explain, dear Nico, is a little about his biography. Bruce Lee was born in a city called San Francisco in the United States on November 27, 1940, but he grew up in a place called Hong Kong, which is in Asia. From a very young age, Bruce really liked to move, jump, and do acrobatics. He also loved acting in movies. He was like an action actor, but also very special because he knew martial arts, which are like sports where kicks, punches, and a lot of concentration are used. Bruce Lee was not only strong in body, he also had a powerful mind. He liked to think, read, and write ideas that would help other people. He said things like, "Empty your mind. Be formless like water." That meant we should be flexible and calm like water. Water can take the shape of a cup, a bottle, or a river, and it always keeps moving forward. Bruce believed that if we are like water, we can adapt to any situation and not give up. Bruce wrote many ideas in a notebook, and over time it became a book called Extraordinary Thoughts. In that book, he shared messages like, "Know yourself. Before understanding others, we must know how we are, what we feel, and what we want. Do not fear failure." Bruce said that mistakes are a way of learning. Even he fell sometimes when he practiced. Don't follow the path, create your own. It means we shouldn't always do the same as others. We can find our own way of doing things. Knowledge will give you power, but character will give you respect. Knowing things is good, but being a good person is even more important. Bruce was also very famous for his movies, like Enter the Dragon or The Way of the Dragon. In them, he taught that true strength comes from the heart and mind. He broke barriers because at that time it was not common to see an Asian actor being the hero. But Bruce showed that with effort, courage, and passion, dreams can be fulfilled. Although Bruce Lee died very young, at 32 years old, his example is still alive in millions of people who still learn from him. His story teaches us to be strong inside and out, not to give up when something is difficult, and to believe in ourselves and our dreams. If you also want to grow strong like Bruce Lee, listen to your heart, train your mind, and never stop learning. He said, "A goal is not always reached, sometimes it just serves to point in a direction." That means that even if you don't achieve something at first, the important thing is to keep walking with enthusiasm and with love for what you do.